Hermione asks, "What should I do to have useful children?"
But as the Athenians walked up this path 2,500 years ago, their question was simple and grave. What could they do to save themselves? The oracle's response could not have been more negative.
Why sit you, doomed ones? Fly to the ends of the earth. All is ruin, for fire and the headlong god of war shall bring you low.
When this message came back to Athens, the Democratic Assembly dissolved into uproar. It seemed that even the gods had deserted them. But Themistocles refused to panic. He had spent every day since the Battle of Marathon waiting for this moment. He sent the envoys back to Delphi for a second prophecy.
Though all else shall be taken, Zeus, the all-seeing, grants that the wooden wall only shall not fail.
Argument raged as to what this wooden wall could be. Some said it meant the stronghold at the center of Athens, the Acropolis. But Themistocles had a different idea.
He read the oracle and he insisted that it had a different interpretation. He said the ships are the wooden barricade which are going to be the key to our success.
Themistocles' plan was daring. Avoid a conflict on land and fight the Persians at sea. He ordered the evacuation of Athens for the first time in her history. This order for evacuation, carved into a stone tablet for public display, is still preserved, discovered in the back of a Greek coffeehouse.
The Athenians shall send their children and wives to the village of Troezen. All the men should embark on the 200 ships that have been prepared to fight the barbarian.
Themistocles ordered that his fleet of triremes should gather at Salamis, a tiny island off the Athenian coast.
Themistocles' strategy is remarkable not only because it is innovative and because it is bold, but because it requires extraordinary self-sacrifice on the part of the Athenian people. He wants every man, woman, and child to leave their homes and possessions and to go into exile.
With Athens abandoned, Xerxes' mighty force entered the city.
The Persians march in and go up onto the Athenian Acropolis, the symbol of Athens. And they burn it. They burn the temples to the ground. Then you can see the smoke rising from Salamis. This would have been a devastating sight and a humiliating one. They would, in short, have seen their country occupied by a fearsome foreign invader. Surely they would have wondered if they would ever be able to go home again.
As night fell, Themistocles met the leaders of the other Greek city-states on the island of Salamis. They had also assembled their much smaller fleets here. Their scouts had reported back. The Persians now not only held Athens, but had also gathered a mighty fleet 4 times the size of the Greek forces. But Themistocles' plans were laid.
Themistocles sticks to his guns, and his plan is to defeat the Persians at sea. He wants to fight in this narrow body of water between the island of Salamis and the Athenian mainland. The trick is going to be to get the enemy to fight there, because the Persians aren't stupid.
Themistocles sent his servant to Xerxes with a seemingly traitorous message.
The Greeks are afraid and are planning to slip away. They're squabbling with each other and will offer no opposition. You have at this moment an opportunity of unparalleled success.
So eager was Xerxes for a crushing victory, he was happy to believe Themistocles' ploy.
Xerxes marshals his admirals, and they embark, and they spend the night rowing. They send a contingent along the eastern defile, the strait there. They try to block up the straits.
Only as the dawn rose did the Persians realize the true nature of Themistocles' plan. They discovered the Greeks not in disarray, but ranged in a battle line across the narrows in front of them. The Persian fleet had been lured so far up the straits that it had no room to maneuver. The powerful Greek triremes bore down on them without mercy. The Greek playwright Aeschylus fought in the battle and lived to tell the tale.
We heard from every part this voice of exhortation. Advance, ye sons of Greece. From slavery save your country. Save your wives, your children save. This day the common cause of all demands your valor.
The Greek forces smashed into the cornered Persian fleet. Xerxes himself watched the carnage from his golden throne placed on the shore. At the end of the battle, the Persians had lost 200 ships. For the Greeks, it was a stunning and conclusive victory.
Victory at Salamis is tremendously important for Greece and for the Athenians. It breaks the Persian navy. The Persians can no longer guarantee that they can feed their army, nor can they guarantee the safety of the Persian king. He must immediately get back to Asia Minor while the going is good. In practical terms, the game is over, and the Greeks have won.
Themistocles' triumph was complete. He had persuaded the Athenians to build a navy,